Hey my loves, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking in. If this is your first time here, you are welcome. Please do not forget to click on your subscribe button. Your subscribe button is just below this video. Please subscribe to my channel. After subscribing, I'm also going to beg you to click on your bell notification. Your bell notification is just beside the subscribe button and you'll be able to see it after you might have subscribed. Thank you so much to all my amazing subscribers. You guys are the best. God bless you.
I've never been exposed like this before.
It's no longer a news that a lot of countries are currently facing deportation in America. And our dear country, Nigeria, is not just facing the deportation. Nigerian politicians also backed themselves a travel ban into the United States. This deportation news is causing a lot of tension all over the world because so many countries that are involved are all in fear. People who have their loved ones living in the United States without proper documentation are all in fear right now. The deportation process have already begun. Like if you have anybody who is in the United States without documentation, I think by now you might have heard from them what is going on. This is not just happening, okay? They are also getting access into people's house, okay? People that does not have proper documentation. If you do not have a proper documentation, they are bringing you out. And colleagues are also calling their co-workers out. You know how you know your co-workers who does not have a proper documentation, they are all calling them out. And yeah, people are just snitching here and there. It is happening. If you have been on the news over the week, you might have seen some Mexicans, they have been deported. Like there's massive deportation of people all over the country. I'm just going to leave you to watch some of the reactions from people on social media. Is causing cause. Let me leave you to watch the video.
I am announcing a temporary policy shift, one that aims to encourage Nigerians, especially those in critical professions, to stay, invest, and work in their homeland. As part of this policy, the U.S. will limit certain visa approvals for Nigerian professionals, including doctors, nurses, engineers, and
Could this news be real? When was he sworn in?
to genuine cultural exchange or partnerships between our nations. Instead, this is a call to action for Nigerians to dedicate their skills to the advancement of Nigeria itself. I believe that the future of a strong, independent, and prosperous Nigeria relies on its citizens and its workforce being invested and building that future from within. For Nigeria to become the world leader it has the potential to be, it needs its doctors in its hospitals, its engineers on its infrastructure projects, its teachers in its classrooms, and its entrepreneurs in its economy. We want to see Nigeria flourish as a pillar of stability and progress in Africa, and we will do our part to support initiatives that foster this development. This decision was made with the utmost respect for the Nigerian people and with a genuine desire to see Nigeria succeed on its own terms. We're confident that this policy will serve as a stepping stone toward that brighter future. To all Nigerians, we admire you, we value you, and we look forward to building a stronger partnership with a stronger Nigeria. Thank you.
In terms of corruption, Nigeria has a reputation, as you understand very well, for very massive corruption. I also know that the president has been able to cut that down very substantially. We talked about it. He is working on it, and they have made a lot of progress, and I think they will continue to make a lot of progress. We have a lot of people in this country, and frankly, the country itself, that invests in Nigeria. So cutting down on that corruption element and a corrupt element is very important to us. All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came.
This one are breaking news.
First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border. All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my remain in Mexico policy.
Now, if you know say you get person for America, I beg you, seriously call them and put them in prayers because better problem dey for them like this. Now, just after the inauguration of Donald Trump yesterday, now he make this law. And now as they talk like this, so immediately he make the law. Now the law has already been effective. He said make all illegal immigrants now go back to their country. And as you can see for the video where they play for the script, so this one are people when they Canada the same yesterday before we won't enter US. People will be saying maybe they go Canada, go do something, we go for Xmas and maybe go do one or two things. Now they not enter US again because they already log again. They say make everybody now they go back to where they for come. And as it is like this now, better problem for Nigerians because it is like this, like no full Nigerians now with the America now be illegal immigrants. As it could be so because if you look the list of the numbers of people now when they go back to their country, Nigeria are number one, over 3.7 million people from Nigeria. Now the America will be illegal immigrant. Now I just the pity for my Benin people especially because now when I know say many of them get people from America, the ones that will pass through Libya, will pass through Morocco, Spain, go enter Italy, from there they go enter Brazil, you know, just like that before they go finally the US. So now you will be see the US for years now. If you see it don't secure now, whoever got things say this kind of thing now go happen because this like not Donald Trump not the snide at all. Sorry, Donald Trump not the snide with anybody. He say make everybody they go back. So I beg. Call your people, they pray for them because things like I don't read for them. Except say they feel narrowly escape, enter Europe, go the one if you go back to Mexico, the one if you go back to different places, to Italy and the rest. Except so, if not surprised to see your loved one with Ghana must go for Nigeria tomorrow. Not just surprised at all. So I beg, just put them in prayer. Now only God now go fit intervene for their case like this now. So this one call for the same people too where they abroad, where they America will be say una think say una dodgers day. Una not live life in Nigeria, just like Olivia of Germany, where we all know. Waiting happen to Ram. Now waiting will happen to many people like this now. Those of you now will be some shop life for America, they chop life since they forget saying Nigeria and our home. And the reason why make Oyibo man always they talk say east or west, home is best. Many of you now go realize say that saying not be carry talk. Now so it just be. Now they say you come back to your country. If you know say you not live life in Nigeria, you not get investment, you not get house, you not get anything. And it's what happen to Olivia of Germany, now go happen to many of you now. When I go call Nigeria, call the shop Gary, you'll be like they come out for heaven. They go back to fire. Now so it could be so. So I'm sorry for now. I don't know how many people go on because as it is like this now I don't read. Many people sold their properties and sold everything they get till narrowly enter America. Now just a few days back, now I see somebody from MaziTT page for live I think for live stream on TK when the guy they talk say in day like this, in day Mexico, in say everything when he gets to enter Mexico and the agent will do the visa for tell us say if he pass through I've been a bush, I've been at one place, enter America. Now that guy ain't be that. That was just last month here. The guy sold everything when he gets. Now the guy can see this news. Hey, I believe when I pray for a make heart attack not finish him. But make it still thank God say the country where they like this in Mexico, they are barely stronger way, so I just want to walk grand there. Hey, not pass like that. So I just pray for your loved ones and try to reach them like this as in the hot big steam vibes.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Let me make one final plea, Mr. President, in the name of our God.
Donald Donald Trump says he's abolished birthright citizenship, but what is that, and can he actually ban it? A baby born in the US could get American citizenship even if their parents arrived in the country illegally and are undocumented. There are about 4 million children in this situation. Trump and his supporters claim birthright encourages people to illegally migrate to the US so they can get citizenship for their babies and eventually for themselves. And that's why President Trump signed an executive order banning birthright on his first day in office. But there's a catch. Birthright citizenship is written into the US Constitution, which means it can't be overturned by a normal law or executive order like the one Trump signed yesterday. If he wanted to change the Constitution, he'd need 2/3 of Congress and 3/4 of states to agree, which is very unlikely to happen. Trump seems to be hoping that the US Supreme Court, which is dominated by conservative judges that he appointed last time he was president, somehow backs him up. But that's not easy either. The majority of judges would have to agree to a brand new interpretation of the Constitution that somehow allows the US to deny citizenship to some babies born in the country. And that's why a lot of Trump's critics say banning birthright is just a political gesture and unlikely to become reality.
Choosing to leave the country voluntarily. News Nation's Jorge Ventura joins us live from San Antonio, Texas this morning with more on this story. Jorge, how many migrants are we actually seeing doing this, leaving voluntarily?
Right now, Mark, it's unclear, but we are starting to see a trend. This comes as cities across the U.S. and Mexico are now bracing for President-elect's deportation operation. But his hardline messaging on those deportation efforts have some migrants panicking and some even choosing now to self-deport back to their home countries. I spoke with immigration attorney Rolando Vasquez, who tells me that some of the immigrants that he represents that entered under the Biden administration are now choosing to return home, fearing deportation under the incoming administration.
Just as recent as yesterday, they notified me that they were going to depart the country voluntarily, and understanding that, you know, the Trump administration is going to carry through on their promises.
And it's not just Trump's deportation plans that are influenced these decisions. Vasquez says it's also that Mexico is now open to accepting non-Mexican deportees. Mexico's move would impact Cuban and Venezuelan migrants the most, since those countries typically do not accept deportation flights from the U.S., but may from Mexico.
This is causing for many migrants to leave on their own, and knowing that they're either going to be deported to their home country or be deported to Mexico. And they obviously, the overwhelming majority of them do not want to be in Mexico.
And my sources in Mexico tell me that it's likely that cartels and smugglers will exploit, kidnap, and extort those newly deported migrants. As of right now, it's unclear if Mexico has a plan to protect those deported migrants, Marky.
Yeah, border's about to change on Monday. At least that's what voters were promised. Jorge Ventura, thank you so much.
The whole situation is beyond anybody's imagination. Like, no one imagined that it's going to be as urgent as it is right now. I advise that if you have your loved ones in the United States without that do not have proper documentation, please reach out to them. All of them are going through so much right now. We do not know what the next step is going to be, but trust me, a lot is happening at the moment. And I'm also going to say we are with you. Everything is going to be fine. It's not easy to live in a country without having a proper documentation. And again, you're not just living there, you are now being deported. Deportation is one hard experience that I don't know anybody will never love to experience. Till I see you again on my next one. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for more. I'm going to upload the next version of the video. Bye.
I feel it right.